Hi everyone! Today, me and Tete are doing another live impromptu Sims roleplay. This time, I'm going to be roleplaying my character Malka, who is the one in green here. And by the way, if you're listening on Anchor, check out the description and watch this on YouTube because we are doing it in The Sims, so you'll be seeing the characters move in real time as we talk. And Tete is going to be roleplaying Bruce Wayne or Batman.
Yes, I'm very excited to reprise my role as Bruce Wayne again. He seems to do very well with your characters, so I'm happy to see what will go on tonight.
Yeah, all these DC and my characters crossover is very interesting.
Is very interesting.
All
I love
right,
it.
let's go. Let's press the start button. Oh, hey, okay, so he's walking away already. So I
Oh
guess
no, Bruce.
Malka's gonna start talking to him. Friendly introduction.
Yes, friendly. Let her be friendly.
She's
Bruce will be
new
friendly.
to this opera house and she doesn't know where to get in. She can't find the entrance. So she's gonna approach Bruce and ask him for directions.
Perfect.
Ah, dag dag.
Hi, do you know the way to get inside this opera house? Why does it look so arcane?
He's like, oh, sure, I can help you with that. The entrance is right around the corner here. It's built in kind of the old Art Nouveau style. It's a rather old place, so what brings you here to the opera? Are you a opera aficionado?
She says. Not really, but I'm just kind of curious about what's going on here. Because, an old friend of mine, he says that he's going to have a very
Yeah.
role in one of the plays here.
Really? And Bruce, his eyebrow walks a bit, and he's like, really? So, what play will he be in? Will it be a speaking role, an extra, or what?
He's going to be in King Lear later this evening, and it's going to be just a very minor role. He's going to be one of these young men standing in a crowd.
As well, you know what they say. There's no such thing as small parts, just small actors.
True. Oh, by the way, just as an interruption, there are two people in the background. Evsay, did you see him?
Oh my goodness, here's Efsay. Efsay looks
Yeah,
sad.
and Haliburton's Muragu. So it seems like everyone's heading over to the opera house to watch some stuff.
Oh my, maybe they're there to see Sam's performance of King Lear. Maybe that's why Bruce is here too.
Yeah, and then, Sam's just so happy about this. He has finally accomplished his dream, even though he's a nameless cameo role.
Nameless extra.
I know.
And and Bruce says, let me see what else Bruce will say to Malka. Say, oh, are you is anybody accompanying you tonight?
Whoa, Bruce is angry in The Sims. I don't know
Why is
why.
he angry?
I don't know. It says
Yeah,
he's
he
suddenly
thought of the Joker.
tense.
He thought of the Joker that his stock market went down.
Okay, so she learned some things about him in The Sims just now. So she has learned that Bruce Wayne shows sign of the sage personality archetype. Sage Sims seek wisdom and focus on finding the truth in every situation. And she found out that he likes cooking and fitness.
Sounds about right for Bruce. He does like exquisite cuisine.
He's so pissed. And she notices this and she asks him, "Are you okay?"
I'm trying to think of a scenario why he's mad. He says, "Oh, I just thought I saw someone that was familiar, and I hope I didn't frighten you. I just saw someone who I thought was familiar, and I'm not very pleased with this particular person that I thought I saw."
I see. Yeah, she continues. There's a lot of people gathering in front of the opera tonight. I guess, everyone's showing up, so there's bound to be some people you don't like as well. She pauses. You know a lot of people around these parts, don't you?
Yes, I do. I guess you could say I made a number of connections. Um, but you still didn't answer my question. Oh, you are with someone.
Oh, yes. He was watching me from afar and he was quite mad. It seems like.
No. Oh, wait a minute. Farber, is that you?
And then Joel turns around and he says, "Yes, it is."
He's like, So this is your this darling little angel you were telling me about?
And then Malka turns red, and Joel says, "Yes, it was her."
She's a very I can't. Why is Bruce so mad?
I know, it's so funny.
I can't try to. I don't know why he's so mad. Is he mad because he tried to get, you know how Bruce is with girls. It always seems there's a dark-haired
He's so
gentleman steals.
mad. I know. And it's so funny how Joel in The Sims is just not paying attention to Bruce at all. He's just staring at Malka with a smile.
Bruce is mad that he's being ignored by Farber. Hey Farber, I pay your bills. Why is Bruce mad? Stop being mad, Bruce, so I can
I
socialize.
know, it's ridiculous. And then Joel is not even paying attention. He's just like, "Oh, Malka, I can't wait to start watching King Lear with you."
It's just gonna be Joel looking at Malka. He's not gonna watch the play at all.
I know. Oh, just look at how he's looking at her.
He's so mad. I mean, Joel is so in love, and Bruce is so mad. This is why Lois didn't want you, Bruce.
And this is now finally Joel's engaging with the rest of the situation.
Maybe friendly so he can calm Bruce down.
He's trying to be friendly to him. He's gush about partner. I don't think he should do that.
No, not in front of Bruce. Misha made that mistake, and now Bruce wanted to kill him with kryptonite.
Ask about favorite author.
Good.
So he's like, "You're a big connoisseur of culture, aren't you, Mr. Wayne? So who's your favorite playwright and opera creator? What is it called? A libretti, right? Like
Librettist.
Yeah, librettist. Yeah.
And it's like, well, I suppose I have a number of favorite authors, but one that I enjoy the most are usually Sauter. I enjoy reading Sauter's philosophical take on the nihilism and existentialism of life. How about you?
Oh, I do too. I think, he's a great author. I really enjoy existentialism since one of the questions, as Malka knows, that I always think about is why are we even here?
So that's very true, Farber. I like your line of thinking. And to answer your other question about opera, I'll admit, I more or less use opera as sort of a way to just numb. I don't really pay attention. But if I had to really pick one that I enjoy, probably Verdi's Don Carlo. I like it because of all the political intrigue and complexes, plus sort of have this complicated plot with a with a son plotting against his father. It's rather interesting to see how a legacy can become unwind by the single action of an agent.
That's true. Joel ponders about it. That's true. I think a lot of things can be set in motion just because of one person or in an action or inaction.
He says you're very right about that, Farber. It's all about the butterfly effect, isn't it?
Well, yes. And then in The Sims, it's funny. So Malka has the ability to make a flirtatious joke at Bruce.
Should she? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, let's not, because Joel's gonna have a conniption.
Yeah, he's gonna start yelling, and then they're never gonna get inside the opera house.
Might fight, which would be hilarious. Bruce is always getting into fights with these handsome, dark-haired men.
Clark.
Clark and Mishka.
And we haven't introduced Mishka yet. Who is he?
Oh yes, we have not. So I'm currently writing. This was a reaction to the outrageous madness of Red Sun, but it turned into something big and epic. I am writing a story that deals with the same question Red Sun did. What would happen if Superman landed in Soviet Union instead of rural Kansas? So Mishka is that version because nobody in Red Sun bothered to give him a name. So we have given him the name Mishka, which is short for Mikhail. And he is basically, imagine if Superman was just crushed by, oppressive totalitarian state control and everything. So that's Mishka. He's dark, he's threatening, and he has a lot of life and joy sucked out of him. But he'll regain it when he meets a certain dark-haired woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like Andre!
Yes, and that woman is Lois.
Yes, that's Lois. Lois has a big effect on him, just like Tatuzia with Andre. Don't they both?
They do. By the way, I think it's time to go inside, Malka says.
Go
I think
inside the opera.
it's 30 minutes already, 30 minutes until the show starts.
Black Zerp.
Exactly.
So then they start going to the front. Oh, there's Epse.
Yes. Okay. Oh, awesome.
So they're gonna walk together. Because I made them into a group now, so they can walk together. Oh, they're walking
Perfect.
together, as you can see.
They are running to the performance.
Oh, Epse is talking to this random woman.
Issei loves to socialize with random people.
He does.
Open the door. Let us go into the opera house.
Okay, let's go.
This is like, follow me. I know the way to the. Have you ever have? I know Malka hasn't been to the opera, but have you ever been to the opera, Joel?
A couple of times. I was invited by a friend.
It happened to be this Sam fellow Malka told me about.
Oh, yes, it is him.
Oh, he's quite an ambitious fellow, isn't he? Trying to break it big on the footlights, isn't he?
Oh, yes, he's always wanted fame.
Makes a lot of sense. I like to see a man with some ambition.
So this is what the interior looks like. And then they head towards the seats, which is here.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Sit
I
together.
love the interior of this opera house. It's so
Mhm.
beautiful. He's like, well, would you guys like to sit with me?
Yes. Okay, let's make them sit.
Eating something.
I know.
This is, oh
It's
my
so
goodness, decadent.
unprofessional.
I know, I mean, I think it's because he thinks because he has billions of dollars, he can do this crap.
Oh,
New
he's
York
sitting
owns
apart
art.
from them.
Oh, yes. No, that's because he probably thought he needs 2 or 3 seats to himself.
True. It seems, and they're kind of shocked by why is it so empty?
Probably because nobody wanted to see Sam's performance. They saw that Sam was on the list, and they
Hey, he
didn't
was
want
a
to come.
cameo that only appears for 10 seconds.
But they saw him on the casting list anyway.
And there's a random man on the stage preparing it. He's preparing the
He might
stage
maybe he's the maybe he's gonna do a monologue because
to
doesn't King Lear
introduce
open with a
it.
monologue?
Yeah, yeah. I think everyone's starting to get on the stage already and preparing for the performance.
Amazing.
Okay, suddenly Joel gets up. I knew it was gonna happen. It's The Sims. They're never gonna sit for a long time.
Sit down and pay attention. Oh no, Joe, come back.
I know.
This looks so sad, honestly, Bruce. This is canon though for the Bruce I imagined. I
Mhm.
think he's like this all the time.
Oh, he stood up again. Gosh.
Probably went to get another bowl of herbs.
Right. So Joel
Waiting for
says to
Bruce to come
Malka,
back.
I don't know how to control him because he's not part of the household. Damn.
Bruce, get back here.
Yeah.
Bruce, you go. Maybe he went off to fight the
Okay,
Joker.
now they're all sitting here. Yeah, all three
I
of
thought
them.
the Joker got
Yeah.
back.
I'm just gonna pause it for now because otherwise they're gonna start standing up again.
Good idea.
Yeah, so let's pretend that the show has already started.
All right, and who wants to talk first? Malka?
Yeah, Malka. Oh, look, the show's already starting.
Bruce is like, it's about time. We waited like what, 15 minutes for this show to start?
He keeps on standing up randomly.
It's because it's all the Joker for somebody.
And he's like,
Even
and
if
then
for
Malka
the
says,
Joker.
"You look very tense. What's going on?"
Oh, nothing. I just that unpleasant person I told you about, I think he's present here, and I hope he doesn't come over to make trouble for us.
Oh no, she looks concerned. Who is he? A criminal?
No, what made you think he was a criminal?
Well, you said he was going to make trouble for us.
Oh, I mean, anybody could make trouble. I mean, average civilian citizens could make trouble.
But how would you
Um,
know that he does? And then she looks at him intently. Is he a mafia boss or something?
No, I mean, and he starts to sweat a little bit. No, I mean, just a fear of mine, and I admit that in my competitive world, as I've told Farber here, competition can be quite fierce. You never know who's going to backstab you or, just make your whole social life intolerable.
Hmm, I guess. And then she's like, "Have you pissed someone off that badly?"
He's like,
Huh.
my goodness, I'm really surprised that you would say something like that. Uh, Maybe I have. I am a bold, audacious man. Don't, if you'll pardon my French, I don't take shit from anyone. Yes, maybe I did piss them off, but I really don't care. My only concern is I hope that their presence doesn't upset you because I can be quite confrontational when I have to be.
Hmm, that makes sense. And the show starts, and it begins with a monologue, and they are all engrossed in it. And then Joel says to Bruce, "What do you think of this?"
Oh, you mean Shakespeare's play, the actual performance, or the cast itself?
The performance and the cast itself.
Oh, I think the performance is fairly decent. I mean, tell you, it's not the old Vic in London, that's for sure, but it's decent, it's tolerable. I think it's a little theatrical for my taste, but it's decent, I'll tell you that. As for the cast, I suppose they're doing a pretty standard job. Nothing extraordinary, just basic. So where's this friend of yours? I'm trying to find him on the stage.
Oh, I don't think he appears until later on. I think it's when, after the king, gosh, I forgot about King Lear, but like after this dramatic event, there's a group of people that appears in the background, and he's one of them. I think he has like a sword or something, because, it's during one of those fights or before one.
Oh. Well, what's he look like? I'd like to single him out and, I don't know, give him a good commendation or something.
Well, he has this messy chestnut brown hair, a couple of freckles, and he always has this very wide grin that Malka says looks like a Cheshire cat's.
Boy, he sounds like a real character then.
Yes,
No wonder he should be
exactly.
on
This is why he's
stage.
on stage, because he sounds and looks like a character.
What a character. Well, I'll if your friend likes, what's his name? Sam, what was his name again?
Sam Abramov.
Sam Abramov. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. As a little favor, I think I'll put in a good word to some different theaters around here, see if we can actually get him something that gets him a couple lines. I wonder what he sounds like. Does he have a deep, sonorous baritone, or does he sound like a squeaky mouse?
And then Malka laughs and she says, "Neither. He doesn't sound like any of those. I think he sounds like a somber, boyish type. He doesn't have a high pitched voice, but it's not deep either. It's just in the middle."
That doesn't sound too intolerable. I guess he could probably do well as a speaking actor. I'll uh I'll put his name around and see if anybody wants to hire him for a speaking role.
And then Joel says, "Thank you so much, but I mean, you really didn't have to do this, especially since you haven't met Sam before."
Don't mind. Seems to be a promising, ambitious young fellow, and if he has the guts to just start off doing non-speaking roles, then throw a temper tantrum, then I admire him working from the bottom. And besides, if you don't get help from the top, you'll never get out of the bottom. I've learned that the hard way.
Malka nods. And then suddenly she points at the stage. "Look, it's him!" And surrounded by a group of people with very fake looking swords and shields that look like they were made out of cardboard is someone with something that looks like a tinfoil hat and a giant shield that looks like it's made of aluminum. And he has a giant grin on his face. And the tunic he's wearing looks like something from a cheap costume store, and it's bright neon green.
Sounds hard, hideous. Bad play. This is a
And then I
poor
guess
production.
Joel kind of laughs a little bit when he sees this.
And then Bruce notices his laughter, and he looks at him, and then he looks on the stage. I take it that the kid with the neon colored tunic and the aluminum foil, that's your friend there, huh?
Yes.
Boy, he looks ridiculous. No wonder you were laughing. I'm
Yeah.
trying to kind of reconsider my offer, but you know what? I won't back out on my word. I'll see if I can get him a role somewhere. Maybe he'll make it as a comedic actor, because he sure as hell ain't gonna make it as a tragic actor.
Yeah, I guess he would say he wants black comedy.
Oh, it's comedic, all right. Whether it's black comedy or not, I can't tell. I'll tell you though, he'd be pretty good in vaudeville stuff.
Oh, he already loves vaudeville.
Does he know? Well, he has he ever tried to make it big there?
Oh, he's tried for some very minor roles, some random dude throwing a rubber chicken or something.
Oh, I see. So he's one of those slapstick types, huh?
Yes.
Oh, I'll see what I can do. Maybe we can get him into the Tin Pan Alley. He can be a shining star in the Tin Pan Alley because look at him already. He does look like a tin pan.
And the 10 seconds are over. The scene is over and Sam is gone now.
Hey, where'd your friend go?
Well, the scene's over. I think he's at the back now, waiting for the play to finish.
He was only here for 10 seconds. He says, what's the point of doing this?
Well, you have to start from the bottom, right? Malka says.
That's true, he said, but damn, 10 seconds. I barely got a glimpse of that kid. He was like a comet flying across the stage. Ugly, tacky comet, but a comet nonetheless.
And Joel says, I think that was the point. I mean, because he knew the role was only for 10 seconds, he wanted to stand out as much as possible.
Wait a minute, don't tell me he made his own costume now.
I think he did.
Wonder it looks so god awful. I guess your friend doesn't have a sense of aesthetic, does he?
And Malka says, well, he says he does. He says he has a very unique, taste. And I have to agree it is unique.
It's unique for sure, but he has no sense of aesthetics.
And then she laughs. No, I guess not. But, I guess as long as it catches attention, it's good for him. That's all he cares about.
He says, I got to admit, I'm impressed with somebody who tries to get attention. It kind of shows me he's trying to mark himself out for success, huh?
Oh, yes. He's very obsessed with success. And then Joel says, yes, much more than me.
Then,
Class.
what do you mean by that?
Oh.
Well, Joel says, I'm not, 100% focused on success. I kind of focus on the smaller things in life sometimes. I'm not obsessed with fame. I don't really want to be, the best in whatever industry. As long as I'm meeting all of my obligations and just being a good person and doing the things I should be doing, I think I'm all right.
And then Bruce is like,
Well,
well, I think you're a bit wrong there. I think you've had some successes. I mean, look at you, Farber. I mean, you were audacious enough to ask me for a job, and don't give jobs very easily to anybody, not even to the best experienced people. And you seem pretty happy with Malka here, so I have to say you're doing pretty damn good by a lot of men's books. I'll tell you that.
And he's like, well, I never thought about it that way.
Good.
But you're right. I
Go
think
ahead.
things are changing for me. I'm no longer that, that
you.
overthinking guy in that tiny storeroom in a no-name grocery store.
That's right. He says, and I'll tell you this, Farber, doing a lot better than me. You got yourself a really nice girl. I mean, it's more than I can say. I've got women, be honest, it's kind of a revolving door for me, and I'm always dissatisfied.
And then Joel nods. Well, at least, you were better than the way I was before. I mean, at least you are trying. I mean, for me, there was no revolving door. I had just shut the door and threw the key away.
And then he's kind of he has a questionable look on his face, a questioning look on his face. He says, why was that? Why did you do that?
Well, Malka says, interrupting the scenario, I think it was because, as he told me, because he thought it was pointless. He didn't really like to socialize that much because it exhausted him. So many things exhausted him back then.
Uh-huh.
Says, well, why on earth were you exhausted? What do you have? Chronic fatigue or something, Farber?
I guess it's like, and then Joel says, I guess it's like a chronic emotional fatigue. Like I just couldn't stand having so much emotion. So I just wanted everything to be really simple, just simplified into these small little boxes that I could manage.
Yefford May.
Ah.
And he says, makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's sort of a way to process and compartmentalize your emotions. But I don't think that's entirely healthy. I mean, unless you want to go down a very lonely path, but glad you got out of that. Glad to see you're living healthy and normal, and I think you owe a lot of that to Malka here, don't you, Farber?
Definitely. And Malka looks at him intently and then he looks at her again. And then he looks back at Bruce. Definitely. I think, she has helped me so much, In a way, I was kind of like a drowning man, but no one pushed me into the pool. I drowned myself or was trying to drown myself.
It's an interesting analogy. So, I guess you're one of those types you kind of like to self-sabotage yourself, huh?
Yes, exactly.
I guess you could say I'm a little bit that way myself. I mean, not with my finances or anything, but I guess emotionally, because just don't know if I can get attached to people. My big question is anybody going to want to get attached to me? That's what I always think, so that's why I don't bother with it.
Right. And then Joel kind of looks intently at him, and then he looks down and then back at him. That was how I thought too. But of course, it was on a very different scale because, unlike unlike you, Mr. Wayne, I didn't have that many connections. I was just little old me. And, I guess it was on the other side of the scale. For you, it's because you're too big. You have all these assets, and, that creates a barrier for you and other people. But for me, it was the other way around. And also because of my prickly personality and my family issues and all the issues I've had. And I'm not trying to whine here. I'm just trying to break down the reason why I am this way. Um, all the things I've had growing up about my, I don't want to say it, but growing up I did have a problem with the way I talked and the way I expressed myself, which made me alienated from a lot of people.
He says, I guess you could say that, yes, men like us, as you've described, I guess we're really just on the same coin, just on different sides. We're sort of two sides of the same penny, eh, Farber?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just very different from Sam, even though we were almost like neighbors in a way. Both sons of the Lower East Side. He has a very different approach. His family life was very different from mine as well, so that probably affected why he's so positive. Like he always sees himself as a force of hope. He always sees, himself as a part of society. But I think growing up, I didn't see myself as part of any society, not even really as part of my family. I just felt so detached from everything.
I have an understanding. I kind of know what you mean. I won't go into my family life, but let's just say I felt detached from a lot of things growing up. I only had one guy that never really looked out for me, but as I got older, we just sort of drifted apart. Um, but yeah, I understand what you mean. You sort of feel like you're on a cold, dark, lonely planet, don't you think? And you're like the only person there.
Yes, and then your mind starts absorbing you, and you suddenly start thinking very weirdly, and then it just turns into an obsession, and you can't get out of it.
You really hit the nail on the head there, Farber. That's exactly how it feels. You know, Farber, I think you ought to take a little bit of writing. I think you ought to time from time write a bit. You have a sort of a thick, heavy academic mind, but you're also pretty articulate. I like that. I think you should write down your thoughts, maybe give them to an opinion article. I actually know a few people at some newspapers. You think I put a word in for them? You'd like to jot off an article now and then for them?
Joel blinks, and then he looks at Malka, and Malka nods, and then she squeezes his hand. Of course, she says. Joel would really like it. And then Joel said, "What? What? Excuse me."
Then he's like, "Good, all right. Well, here, let me give you a business card. One of my, I have a bit of a close associate. She works over at the Daily Planet. I think she'll be able to squeeze you in for a, opinion article, probably on the lower front. Here's her card. Give her a call. Right now she's out of the country, but she should be back. I don't know. Give her 7 months or so. Um, sooner because she tells me she's gonna get back pretty quick because she thinks what she's going after is a real dud, and I don't blame her. I think it's all, to be honest, bullshit. Pardon my French.
Mm-hmm.
But once she gets back, contact her, let her know you want to be on there, and tell her that I sent you.
Right. I understand. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. So you guys are leaving now, huh?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, have any plans for the evening?
Hmm. I don't know. I think we might go out for a dinner and maybe just relax afterwards.
If you didn't mind, I was gonna treat you guys to dinner if you like. I mean, I don't have any plans myself, and no, maybe we could talk a little bit more. It's an amusing diversion, and I like your mind, Farber. I like the way you think, with the way those cogs work in your mind.
And then Malka says, I do too. He's very fascinating as a specimen. And then she laughs.
He's like, right, he is. He's very fascinating. I'd like to get to know you better, Farber. I think you're probably one of the few genuine people I've encountered. So, if you like, you and Malka could, I don't know, we could have dinner together, talk a bit, wine and dine.
Yes, that would be great, Malka says. I think that would be a great idea. Thank you, Mr. Wayne. And then Joel says, yes, yes, thank you. So, will we get into your car now?
Oh, yeah, sorry, bad manners. I'm not used to having friends and people accompany me. Yeah, sure, I'll have the chauffeur drive around the front and he'll take us. Did you guys have anywhere in mind you wanted to go, or do you want me to just pick some random spot?
I think you can just pick a random spot for us.
All right, I'll do that. I was kind of having an idea where we're going to go. It'll be a surprise, so we'll just hop in the car and go then. Hope you guys
Awesome.
like Italian.
Oh, I actually had a feeling you were going to pick Italian.
Really? What
Uh-huh.
made you think that?
I don't know. It just felt like it.
No, Farber, I sometimes think that you and I think on the same wavelength.
And then Malka is thinking about it and she's like, wait, I think I know where you're taking us.
Oh, all right. Well, enlighten me, Malka. Where am I taking you to?
And I don't know where Bruce went. I think he went to the washroom because I saw him walk in that interesting Sims manner. But yes, okay, back to the RV. Let's pretend he's standing here instead of just wandering
Just
off.
pretending he's standing there. Damn it, Bruce. You need to get
Yeah.
the car.
So yeah, pretend there's a car there, like a really awesome car.
Yeah, there's a chauffeur in an outfit.
Yeah. Is it Amato's?
Is it a model? Oh wait, the restaurant. Is it a Motto's?
Yeah.
And Bruce's eyes open wide. He's like, "Well, how did you know?" He says, "Damn." He says, "What are you, a fortune teller or something, Malka?"
No, she's like, it's funny because he wanted to take me to Amato's tonight too. And another reason is because Amato's is, well, I mean, the owner isn't technically him, but the owner's son, who is going to take over for him soon, is Sam's best friend, who is also our friend.
Damn, what a small world. You mean being Frankie Salvatore's kid?
Yes.
Shit. I mean, I go there, quite a bit. I mean, I kind of go incognito, so but damn, what do you know about that? It's a small world. I got to admit I like it cuz it's not pretentious and they know how to cook authentically like they do back home. I mean, not that I'm Italian, but when you've lived in the city long enough, you know what's Italian and what's, what they call American Italian, and the Amatos really know how to bring that old world flavor. I like it.
Yeah, they do. And, I guess they also know how to attract in those people who don't want the old world flavor. They have a menu just for people who want the Americanized stuff and a menu for the real stuff.
I always get from the real stuff menu. Sometimes I'll ask Salvatore to make me something off the menu.
I like that. You're very adventurous. Most people aren't. They just want to go with the old spaghetti and meatballs, which, by the way, is an American invention, Malka says.
You're very clever, Malka. That's right. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't touch the spaghetti and meatballs even if you held me at gunpoint. He says, "No, I prefer something with a good, thin, but flavorful sauce. Something that's a little light, refined. I can't stand any of this Americanized stuff. Frankly, I think it's just crass crap."
And then Joel says, "Yeah, I think you will have a lot to say to Frankie. He totally agrees with you."
Yeah, I know Frankie. He's a pretty smart, bright kid. A good kid. He takes good care of his folks. I think he's got a lot on his shoulders, though. I've been trying to find out if anything's been, pestering the family, but Salvatore keeps his mouth shut and I can't get anything out of the boy.
Hmm. And then Joel tips his head. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I really appreciate you, taking care of us, so to speak. Thinking so much about me, Malka, Joel. Sorry, not Joel. Yeah, I am Joel. Sam, and Frankie. Thank you so much. I mean, we've only started knowing each other for the last few weeks or so, but I really appreciate that.
He says, "Well, don't think anything of it. I'm kind of a lonely, eccentric man, and I appreciate people who are real. And getting to know real people, maybe that'll make me a bit more real too. So don't think anything of it, Farber, but I appreciate your gratitude. Oh, I'm starving, so how about we hop in the car and go see Salvatore and Frankie, eh?"
Yeah, so they go inside the car and they speed off. The end.
And what a fun role play.
I know, that was amazing. Thank you for joining,
Wow.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. And in our next
Bye.
roleplay, we're going to be doing Malka meets Lois.